here I have a Toshiba TV that's not working. It's a 62-inch there. And first I'm looking at this board and making sure that the components seem to be okay, just testing that all the diodes are okay. Now, I do have this Toshiba Ballest repair kit, and it gives you the most common parts to go bad on the machine. And they also have a little handy diagram here with the highlighted components that you should have a look at. And I will be desoldering these components and testing to see what parts are bad. Now, it doesn't mean that all the parts are going to be bad there, but it's a good indication that these are the most common parts to go bad. So I'm desoldering the components here. I have that resistor, and then I'm going to take that out. Now this resistor, oh, that's our capacitor here. I believe it's a 10 picofarad or nanofarad capacitor there. And there's also a resistor that is a 1K ohm resistor. I already measured this resistor here, and it was measuring an open. So definitely there's some issue with this board. I'm just using a solder sucker here to get that component out. So here's the 1K ohm resistor, and it's definitely a bad one there. And then we have two power diodes that we need to remove right here and right here. So using the solder sucker, just taking that out, and we can remove that. And around those diodes, they also have this kind of sheet there. So it's a power diode FMVG2G. And then we have a power transistor, which has 3 pins. And basically, a transistor is 2 diodes connected together there. So if you're testing the diode and you're measuring always an open on all those pins or a short between them, you will know that we need to replace this. I'm just taking all these parts out so that I can be 100% sure what parts are good and what parts need to be repaired. It's a little bit stuck onto the heat sink there, so I had to pry up with my screwdriver. But there we go, I have that off, and then it should be able to slip out. And there we go, we have our Toshiba power transistor. There, it's a K2698 Toshiba transistor. Now here are all the new components from the repair kit, and they give us this transistor and a couple other components as well. So I'm going to be testing these out with the good components, and then I can verify what ones are working. So just using the continuity test, you can see that between the second and third pin, we do have some continuity. And if I'm measuring voltage, I'm getting a voltage drop of 0.4. And on the good one, it's 0.4. So I can pretty much guarantee that this the old transistor was okay, but I'm going to replace all the components because I have them anyways. So this transistor is giving the same properties as the good one, so I know that that's fine. I also have a little testing device here, and you can see it already has detected that it is indeed a transistor, so there's no issues with that component. And let's put in the good one, make sure we get the same things. And it also has detected that, so I know that this power one's good. Now let's check out the power diodes. You can see it's testing here, and it says it's a capacitor, so I already know that this is a bad component. And I'll be testing that with the multimeter as well, just give you an idea of what the reading should be. So here's a good one, and if I test it, it says it's a diode there, and it has a drop off. So a good diode here should measure a forward voltage of 0.45. I'm getting 0.3. So it's already giving something off. Flipping the leads, I should have an open. So here's a good one. It's open. So that's good. And here's the bad one here. And I'm measuring 0.3. So the diode should only measure continuity one direction. You can see the little black line. So the left pin should be negative, and it's a bad one. So let's get rid of that. Here's that resistor. should be measuring like 1K ohm, and it's a little bit in there. I got it on, and I'm measuring about 2 mega ohms, so it's basically open. That means that this resistor is fried. Here's a capacitor, and it's about 900 picofarads, so that one seems to be okay. So now I installed all the new parts. You also want to put the little coverings on the diodes and a little covering behind the transistor as well. Soldering on those components, that's good. The reason why we need to have the covering is because the drain of the transistor will get shorted to the heatsink, and so that's why we need the coverings on the transistors and the power diodes there. So just using some soldering. Right now we're doing the power diodes. There's the two there. Make sure you have a good connection. And there we go. We got that looking good. And now we're on to the transistor. And after you get them soldered, the legs will be a little bit longer, so you want to snip those off with your little tweezers there. And we'll get on the resistor and the new capacitor that came with it. Have them all installed, and here's the reading now for the diodes. So I get 0.45. I think it's 0.45. So they're reading the same. Before it wasn't. So hopefully this will be good for our repair. So that's how to install this Toshiba repair kit. I hope you enjoyed the video and hope your TV's back to working condition. Please like the video and subscribe.